Here's what I made for the prompt, magical creature. Hi everyone, it's Lee here. Thanks for coming back to my channel again. So we're doing another Dephemerember day. So we're up to the 13th of December. So magical creature is the prompt for today. Anyone who doesn't know what Dephemerember is, it's an open collaboration hosted by Barbara from 49 Dragonflies and Louisa Heinzel. And Dephemerember is a mashup of December and ephemera. So we have Dephemerember, and this is your chance to play along and make some different sort of ephemera for the month of December. So I've got a few bits and bobs here that I'm thinking of trying to put together to make my magical creature. So it's obviously, I've got faces there, so it's going to be half person, half animal of some sort. And then I sharded myself a new cutter. Then it came in this awesome box, and it's got this big window. So I want to make something out of this section here and have you look through that into my realm where my magical creature is living. So I'm working out which way I want the window to face, whether I want it portrait or landscape. And then I'm going to cover it in an eco-dyed paper. So it's one of the ones that Di sent me in our scrap swap. And it has a beautiful leaf impression on it. And I just love the colours that are on this paper. So you'll see that in a minute. Before I glue it down, I do scuff up the outside here with my sandpaper block, because it cardboard is really glossy and I don't want any issues with the glue. So I'll scuff that up and then I'll glue on this glorious piece of eco-dyed paper. Now you might notice that I'm not cutting the paper to fit the window. I'm putting the whole piece of paper over the window and just gluing it where it needs to be glued. And then I'm using my ruler or my thumbnail to tear around the edge of the frame and get rid of the bits that don't need to be stuck down. So this is such an easy method of covering a window envelope or something like this that's got a window in it. And I learnt that from Darcy. That looks good, doesn't it? Now it's time to make a couple of mythical creatures or magical creatures, and I toy around with putting the one girl's head on the deer and making the bird into bird girl and all this sort of thing. So I will make two of these creatures, but I only end up using one. So I've got my two little creatures here, and now it's a matter of deciding which one I like best in my frame. And notice I have actually turned the frame around the other way. This is what I didn't realise I'd done halfway through my creation. And when I get to the end and I actually go to put it in the book, it won't fit in. Well, it will, but it's a really tight squeeze. And that's a problem I need to find a workaround for a bit later on. I've decided I want to use this one of my magical creatures, and I'm just working out which of the background papers I want to put behind her and where I want her to sit in that frame. I've decided that I want to use this piece of vellum that has some flowers printed on it, and I'm going to use the yellow side of it, the one with the dandelions. So I'm going to glue my little magical creature onto the back of the frame. So then I'm going to glue my piece of vellum behind her. On the back I want to put an image of a forest, so I'm just looking through a magazine to find something that I think would look nice, and I decide on this particular page from the magazine. It's got some lovely trees and some nice greens in it, so I'm applying that and using art glitter glue to adhere that on. It turned out to be a perfect image to use, or a perfect page, because there's an image of a forest on both sides of that, and yeah, so you can see it vaguely through the vellum. So behind the flowers, if you look there, you can just see the forest in the background, and then when you turn it over, you've still got forest on the other side. So I'm just giving that a little bit of a tidy up, and I'm getting really good these days at doing stuff and forgetting to put the camera on record. So hey presto, ta-da, we've jumped into the future about 10 minutes, and I've got all these decorations that I'm going to put on the outside of the frame. I'm just going to colour those white flowers just ever so lightly with a bit of antique linen and then a little bit of tea dye distress oxide ink, and I will staple them on and then just glue down the bits that I can't get the staples into. And you will see also that I have actually sewn around the edge of the frame. I used a zigzag stitch and I went all the way around. I don't know if I pointed this out, but this particular page I'm making serves absolutely no function at all. It's just for aesthetic, so it's a little decorative element in my journal. So I've got some of those little punch out things that Di sent me, the circles, the scalloped circles. I've got some of them that I inked up previously but didn't use, so I've decided to put them into this particular design. I do give them a little coat of gesso though, so just to knock back the black a bit. The next thing I'm doing to this is to get my distress oxide spray, and I've got ground espresso, and I'm just going to use the actual tube on the spray just to apply a little bit to the very edge here, so in between all the layers there where you can see the white and the inside of the cardboard, I want that covered up. I'll also get some forest moss and put a few little green marks around the frame. I'm trying to make it all foresty, the sort of place that you would find a magical creature. I'm not aiming for perfection with this. All I want is some marks, random marks, just around the top and down the side of the frame. So this is the forest moss that I'm applying now. You can see how much darker it is than the ground espresso. I love that colour, especially when you add water to it. I think it's so beautiful. I can see why it's one of Louise's favourite colours. The colour I'm using here now is a mica spray. Can't remember what it's called. Is it Villainous Potion, maybe? Something like that. But it's a nice iridescent green. Oh, I did it again. So we've time travelled, and this time splattering has been added. So forgot to turn the camera on again. Alright, so I splattered it with some white gesso, some black ink and some gold watercolour. Okie dokie, so this is what we've got so far, and that's what the back of it looks like. And I've dried everything off. And this is a paint stick, so it's a gold colour. The brand of this is Little Brian, so it was only a cheap one. So I think it's a kid's one. I just like the colour. So I'm edging the entire frame with that on the outside. Right, now this is where I get hit with the stupid stick. Look at the page sticking out on the right hand side there, and I still go ahead and put the eyelets on the left hand side. It's not going to fit into the folder, so what is wrong with me? Why did I keep doing that? Okay, so seniors moment, I'll have to say that. That's the only thing I can put it down to. So yeah, that's something to remember if you're doing something and you change your mind about how you're going to orientate it. Remember to check if it's actually going to fit. So I merrily went on and put it in the book, and it looks fantastic, and oh, okay, not going to work. So this is what I do instead. I take a strand of jewellery wire and I fold it into 4, and then I twist it all around itself, and then I make a loop out of it. I then use that to attach my page into the journal, the folder, and I just orientate it as a landscape image. So to look at it, you have to turn the folder on the side, but I'm thinking that I'll just leave it at the front of the folder. So that's the first thing that you'll see when you open up the folder. It serves no purpose whatsoever. It's just beautiful to look at. Well, I think it's beautiful to look at. Tell me what you think in the comments. I know I could have cut the page down. If I'd realised earlier, it wouldn't have been a problem. But I didn't want to cut it down after I'd put all the decorations on the side, the flowers and etc. So yeah, so putting it this way and then using the wire, I thought it's quite unique and I like it. I love it actually. So alrighty, so that is this one done. Magical creature. So my creature has dragonfly wings and deer antlers, reindeer antlers. So that's it. See you in the next video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, leave a comment and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And until then, happy crafting and hugs and cheers from Australia. Hooroo!